Okay, welcome back into the Tunes Brothers. I am Rob. That is Scott. The Rocktember discussion recap review video is now up with some bonus freely footage at the beginning. I did want to say I forgot on that video. Shout out to Tommy Summers from Three Sides of the Coin. I don't always agree with his takes. Same with Brandvold or Cicchini, but I got to say, man, I always wondered if I'd bump into him at a concert in Minnesota, since he's based out of there and he loves going to live shows. And this one makes the most sense. All these live bands, he's a big Enough's Enough fan, huge Ace Frehley fan. Yeah. So if ever it was going to happen, it was going to happen at this one. And I happened to see him walk by and sit a few rows in front of me. So I went down and introduced myself. He was super, super friendly. Introduced me to his buddy he was hanging out with. We talked for about a minute about, Kiss content and trying to keep podcasts going with the band over and stuff. Yeah. But man, he's a super nice dude. I mean, you're not going to, I say a lot of nasty shit about a lot of people, and it's nothing personal. It's just my attempt at sarcastic humor when I don't agree. When I don't agree with people. I mean, people take me way too literally, because when I grew up, that's the way it was, man. If you just didn't care for something, it sucked, right? Didn't mean it sucked. It's just the terminology we use. Yeah. And I jump on Three Sides guys a lot, but people, I've watched them since their very first video way back with Mitch LaFon. I've watched them for over 10 years. I have mad respect for these guys and the knowledge they have. I just don't agree with most of their takes. Yeah. But he was a super nice dude, man. So shout out to Tommy Summers. Very cool to meet him. Also, one other thing.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite one on there. I mean, since Mitch LaFon has not been on there. But I haven't consistently watched it in a long time, but I have.
I haven't either. I don't have time anymore.
Yeah.
I checked out a couple of years ago. Nothing that they did. Is just my life got too fucking busy, and I just couldn't keep. I didn't have a job anymore where I could, because I used to download all their fucking podcasts and listen to them when I was driving over the road. Well, the job I've been doing for the last 4 years, I got people talking to me nonstop, and you just can't concentrate. So I don't have time once I get home. So nothing personal against those guys. It's just, I just don't have time anymore.
Yeah.
But we're going to turn it over to Scott and let him tell you what we got going today.
All right, dudes. We got something a little different going on today. And I think we said something about it on the last one, what we were going to do, because we're going to try to give y'all a little, a taste or whatever we're going to be coming up with. We're going to rank the album covers of Kiss, our least favorite to favorite. Now, we're not using every single Kiss album from every greatest hit, because we would never get done. We're just going to use the basic greatest hits, the album covers that I think are pretty much worthy to be in there. You wanted the best, you got the best, double platinum, killers, smashes, thrashes, stuff like that. Some of them have new songs on them, so they're a requirement to me to put on there just for the hell of it. And we're going to do live albums. We're doing the whole damn Kiss catalog, pretty much. Originals and stuff, no, I love the album cover, but we're not going to get that crazy with it. Everybody knows what that is.
To touch on that real quick, when one of the mornings before, it was Saturday before the show, we ran down into a few towns like Rogers and Blaine and stuff like that in the cities, Hopkins. I did find the originals, and I was shocked. Oh. It was $25, so I knew something was up, right?
Yeah.
There's no fucking way you're getting that album for that cheap. Cover beat the shit like everyone I've ever fucking seen, including the one I owned decades ago. I open it up, and each album is supposed to have a paper sleeve with like the album cover it was.
Yeah.
So Hotter Than Hell's paper sleeve was in there. Then 2 albums were just shoved in there. No sleeve, no protection, album on album sitting in there. Scratch to Hell.
Yeah.
And one of the albums was Destroyer. So So, I mean, I'm not, if it had been $5, I'd have got it just for the cover.
Yeah.
Or I might have paid, might have paid $25 if it was the original pressing, but right up there in the right-hand corner of the album cover, it says second printing.
Oh, really?
You know, so
Yeah, man.
yeah,
It
so
ain't
beat
worth-
the shit.
Yeah.
Missing all inserts, trading cards, only one paper sleeve, and Destroyer being one of the 3 albums, which is of course not an originals album. So I passed for $25, but it was weird to see it, man. I about shit my pants because I saw it from a distance. Like, oh, no fucking way. And I went over there and I found out why it's there.
You don't see them that often. I still got one that's in fairly good condition. It's got all my sleeves. The albums look like they've never seen a fucking turntable. I mean, they're fucking.
Okay, quick technical glitch. Hopefully that intro stuff is salvageable. Anyway, Scott was talking about an originals that he has.
Yeah, I've just got, it's flawless. It's, except the album cover's got a few blemishes, but I keep it in plastic, and the sleeves are in plastic too, man, on the inside, you know, so yeah, man, that's a good one to have if you ever do. You can find them. eBay and stuff's your best bet, but then again, I like to see and feel what I'm getting when I get something like that, because you never know what you're going to get sometimes, you know, so that's the only thing I was saying on that. But
Okay.
Who's going to start this thing off, me or you?
Does not make no difference. There is no right or wrong here. Art is, subjective to each person.
Yep.
So what may seem really cool to one may not be to another, and that's, I'm not taking any of this by personal. I mean, this is all personal preference, man. I mean, so
yeah, might be shocked at a few things. I figure we're going to hit on a few, especially up toward the top. And I figure we're going to be close. I'm just about bet on that.
And I'll be completely honest too. Nostalgia plays a big part of this, right? What the album cover meant to you when you first got it, because Kiss was one of those rare bands where the album covers were just mesmerizing. It was almost as exciting just to sit and look at the album cover as it was to hear the album. So a lot of this is going to be nostalgia, I have a feeling. Not necessarily.
Yeah, that's going to play a part in it, and you'll see a trend of mine as we start going through here about the album covers that I'm not as crazy about and why. So that'll be my take on that. But I guess I'll kick it off.
All right.
I think we got 33 altogether, if I'm not mistaken. So, you guys help us keep count as we go, man, when y'all watch the video, I guess. So if we do have 33, number 33, if you can't see them as good, I'll try to pop them up. It's Carnival of Souls. It's about as good an effort of an album cover. It's about as good as effort as they put into the album. Don't get me wrong, I do like a lot of stuff on this album, but it was definitely not going to get released for some reason, and they decide to, I guess, to cash in a little more money, so, but it's just, it's them trying to look like Nirvana or something on the freaking album cover in a old grungy room or loft, man. So that's my least favorite album cover by them.
Okay, my 33 is Carnival of Souls. This to me is the laziest effort I've ever seen from Kiss for an album cover. Clearly this was an afterthought. Hey, we need an album cover. Okay, well, we finished up our recording sessions here in the studio. Everybody just stand there and I'll take a picture real quick. Just does nothing. Like the album, it's just kind of half-assed, and there you go, number 33, Carnival of Souls.
Yeah, that's looked like we just woke up, man, with our grungy shit on and our unshaved beards, and look like a what was going on at the time, man. If you want to put it that way, there you go, man. So number 32, a little bit better, of course, because it's number 32, but still never really been my favorite cover. And I do like one of the new songs on it is Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. All right. What we have here is them just standing there with, like they're standing in the middle of a crowd with, hands up in the air. And it actually looks like cutouts of them. And, if you ever take a look at it, it doesn't even look like it's they're in black and white and the colors behind them on this one. So it just didn't, it's the greatest hits, guys, with two new songs in the 80s. I don't know how much time they took with it. I hope not a lot, but who knows? They never talk about stuff like this. I've never heard them talk about the covers that much stuff. So that's my 32.
32.
Yeah.
All right. My 32 is one of my favorite Kiss albums, but the cover is really a poor representation. Kiss MTV Unplugged. I don't like wasting a third of the cover on the repetitious Kiss Unplugged, Kiss Unplugged, Kiss Unplugged, like the torn paper.
Yeah.
The image is, kind of kitty corner of the band on stage. I don't know. I think they'd have been better off making a cover of all 6 members together standing there instead of a live shot where you can't really see Peter or Eric. And again, wasting a third of the cover just on stupid print just does nothing for me for such a great album.
Yeah, and I'm kind of on board with that too, man. It's not the most flamboyant cover for something that supposedly big at the time, so it's not my favorite either. I got to get there. Number 31 for me, and this comes from an album that I really love. It's probably my second favorite album they done out of makeup. It is the Asylum cover. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the colors. I'm a color guy. I don't give a damn if you got 1,000 colors on. I like the colors they wore. Most people don't. I like Paul's feathered legs. I like this pink freaking robe. I love that stuff. Even Gene's purple robe. But the powdered faces with all the makeup on that you just didn't really need to wear at the time, to me, I didn't get that. They didn't look like they'd done that on Animalize. They might have had a little bit, but you could not obviously tell it like this. This was like Poison makeup down near it. And why are you putting your 4 faces like this on front of the cover when you could have really created something good like a fucking mental asylum or something on there? Just a real creative cover. So that's the album I love. It's just the cover always kind of threw me for a loop. So that'd be my number 33 to 31. Yeah.
Okay, my 31, an album I really enjoy, but very unimagined, the Kiss Alive 4 Symphony. It's a really cool piece of artwork in the middle. I love the blood running down the one side, but there's so much wasted real estate on this album. If you were going to do a crest or something, it should have, covered most of the album. It should have had some color in it. I mean, it looks cool to have the contrast with only the red blood drop and everything else black and white. But that crest could have been so beautiful. You had some like reflective gold in it or something. they could have done something to dress this up a little more. I can see with the word symphony in the calligraphy type writing, they were trying to class it up a little bit. But again, a foil gold on some of them leaves or whatever on the crest, it would have been just gorgeous and bigger on the album, I think.
Was the does the cover now? Look, I got it ranked, but I'm ranking the because I have the DVD. Does it have on the cover of the CD? Does it have the blood dripping down on it too? Okay, all right. You ain't got to pause it 5 seconds.
Yep. Yeah. So, like I said, I love the Symphony album. Again, I just think it's such a cool concept with that crest, whatever they were going for there. I get the contrast, like I said, with the red and the black and white, but you could have done a little bit more contrast by putting a little foil gold or chrome or something in that crest to kind of make that pop out. And it should have been bigger on the album, in my opinion. It's a little too simplistic. And again, wasted space on an album cover is not something I don't like. Metallica's Black Album for that same reason. I don't like the cover.
No.
I just think the cover is supposed to stand out. When you walk into a record store, it's supposed to grab your goddamn attention, right? That's the whole point. It's advertising. And I just don't think it was flashy enough. I just don't.
And that's how I got into a lot of bands. It's their album covers, man. You know, wow, that looks heavy. That looks dark. That looks pretty fucking evil.
As great as the Metallica Black Album is, and this coming from a guy who, other than that album, is not a Metallica fan. I understand the Black Album, the Beatles' White Album, but I mean, come on. I mean, it's just you're going to walk right past that if you don't know who Metallica is and not even know what genre that album is. I mean, it's just I don't get it.
Yeah. Okay.
You're number 30.
Oh, go ahead. What?
No, you're number 30.
Number 30. A live album that I love. I was front row, and it was the loudest thing I've ever heard in my life. I mean, literally. I never thought I'd be the same again from the high-tech amplifiers. Alive 3, I really think they could have done better with that, too. You know, you can't really see much of them in the letters in the Alive. You just see somebody standing there here. I don't know why they couldn't have put some kind of colors in there and made something drip off of it too. You know, I mean, look, it's not bad. It's Kiss Alive 3, guys, but it's just it don't leave too much for the imagination. That's all. So that would be my 30. Yeah.
Okay. My number 30, you touched on Asylum. I absolutely love the album. Like Scott, I love the colors. The problem I have, and you're going to see this as a theme going through, I don't like cartoonizing humans. I think it makes it look cheap and not to be taken seriously. That's just my opinion. I also don't like how in 1985, they're still trying to represent each member by a color with each one having different lipstick on. Could we let that go after the solo albums? It was a cool concept for that time. In the 80s, really, there was no need for this. I think this could have been so cool if it had been just Bruce, Eric, Gene, and Paul. If you want to do the Four Faces, a lot of their albums, you could do that without it being cartooned. I do like the paint, splashes or stripes across. You could keep that.
Yeah.
But I think the image would have been better. Ditch the stupid lipstick colors and make it an actual photo, or at least like a black and white cartoon. This looks like Scott. This looks like they're wearing a ton of foundation makeup. I mean, I know it's cartoon, but it looks terrible to me. And I had a hard time defending this album because that's what everybody would go to, is the cover. And it's a great, this is another one of the people, an album back then, maybe not now. Back in the 80s, the album cover was very important to people's people's take on how good the album was. An album cover could make or break whether someone bought your album or not. Again, not important today since everybody streams everything, but back when you're walking into a record store, whether it's a CD, cassette, album, whatever, that means something. There are several bands that I bought that I never heard of only because the cover was cool, and vice versa.
Yep.
There's one I passed up because the cover was lame, so I figured the music was lame. So I just think they made a misstep with that cover.
There's two bands that I got in for the album covers alone, and it was Lizzie Borden and Iron Maiden. So, dude, you really have to give it to Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. 29. You done touched on it. MTV Unplugged. Okay. Yeah. It's not bad as bad to me as it is you. I love the big kiss in the background and the yellow fluorescent lights. I like how they're all grouped together. I never had this album. See, on albums, another thing too, guys, a cassette and a CD just is not justification for an album cover.
No.
The album cover you cannot miss anything on it. It's big, it's detailed, everything's great in your face, But I like how they done the back of it, with all of them on the back cover, But it's not bad, but I believe they could have done a little bit better. I guess they made it look like a piece of burnt newspaper or something, or torn newspaper. Yeah, what you were saying. But imagination at the time, with as big as this wound up turning into be for them and a lot of people, you would think they may have amped it up a little bit, but I don't know. It's not bad, but it's my 29.
Okay, my 29 is going to be an unpopular choice for many with me. But when I go back to being, 8, 9 years old, I hated this cover then. I was very, very disappointed by this cover. Unmasked. And some people are hung up with, why would you put a guy in the corner saying I still think they stink? Because that's comedy, people. That's classic. One guy's trying to, basically downplay the band and whatever. And then at the end he loses. So he's like, oh, I still think they stink. I mean, too many people thought that made Kiss look bad. Like they're still saying, hey, this stinks. I mean, that's just have some humor. To me, I just don't like comics. I just don't. I've never been a comic book person. My brother's a huge comic book person, always was as a kid. I don't like it. I like realism. If I put a wallpaper on my computer screen or my phone screen, I want it to be a picture of a real lion, not a cartoon lion. I'm just, and there are plenty of, cartoonish type pictures that look cool, but I would rather have real photos. I still think this is a better title for Lick It Up. Being as how they were actually unmasked for Lick It Up. But yeah, it just never done nothing to me. I really hate the upper left-hand corner with Ace doing this, and it almost looks like he's got condor feathers or something coming out. It just looks stupid.
Yeah, man. I thought he did. I'm like, damn. Wow.
I don't get it. The whole thing is kind of just lame to me. I like the story it's telling, because we've seen plenty of these photos, the back of someone's head while they're having dinner with someone, or the person putting their hand in front of their face. I mean, it was all spot on. Gene wearing the bandana from the nose down. I've seen all these pictures in reality. I just don't like it turned into a cartoon. I just don't.
I got you. And some people don't. Some people, it ain't their thing, man. Me, I love art, and I'm a comic book collector too. I mean, I don't read them, I don't sit there
Yeah.
and read through the comic, but if I find some good ones in good shape and they're kind of old and stuff, and they're not that expensive, I'll grab them if I can, just to
Sure.
have.
Hey,
I
collecting's
collect
fun.
all.
Collecting is fun. And I
Yeah,
love art too. I was an artist. Shit, I got a degree in commercial art, but I was an artist for everything from pottery to glass etching. I mean, I've done it all. I was addicted to art. But once I graduated high school and I got my degree from a VOTEC class at the time while I was in high school for commercial art, I just realized there was very little chance of making money in it. But visually, to me, I just prefer real versus a drawing. When I'm hanging something on my wall, I mean, that's just me.
I was never worth a damn at art. My cousin could draw anything you wanted drawn. He's the one that painted us up like Kiss to a fucking perfection. I couldn't draw. I can't even. I look like a fifth grade writing still to this day, so I can't draw a damn stick person good. But I've always loved it, and I always thought as a kid in grammar school, especially when you're first getting into bands like Kiss and stuff, man, through high school, I thought what a cool job it would be to have to draw the album covers for these fucking bands,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that was the dream job for me. Fantasy,
Yeah.
at the time. So there you go,
I
man.
guess if you're going to do that, give me something like Eddie from Iron Maiden, something badass. This just kind of looks cheesy to me. I mean,
It's supposed to look like a comic book. Yeah.
I know, but Eddie was a cartoon essentially, but he looked badass. I mean, yeah. Anyway,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
I love him. I love him too, man. This is an album that I love. Now, I will get on to the theme that I was talking about when we first started about the album covers that are at the bottom of my list. And a lot of these albums are some of my favorite albums. It's not got nothing to do with the cover, the how I love the album, or none of that. This is all cover, all visual, guys. It's Lick It Up. My favorite non-makeup album, probably by far, and a heavy. Just I love the album. I'm not going to get on the album, but I do like the white background. I do like that because that really fucking bam. That's on an album. That is, you can see that all the way back there in the corner if it's nothing in front of it.
yeah.
When Kiss dropped the makeup, my opinion being what I would have loved to have seen is Kiss do don't put themselves on the album covers then. Because you got Asylum, you got Lick It Up, you got albums like Smashes and stuff. That would have been a good time to be creating and go with an album theme. Put something else on the album cover, have something drawn on the album cover, art, real, whatever. I always liked that imagination. I never really liked album covers with the band standing on front of the damn album cover. I wanted to see something that drew me in, some kind of theme. Say, I'm that guy. I want something that's creative. Okay,
Now,
I know they just can't make
I
it.
understand why they did it in makeup, because
Yes,
that was the
yes,
visual draw. I think I kind of agree with you. The non-makeup, it should have been like Animalized, where you just got something that's somewhat representative of the title covering the front, and then the guys are on the back. I think
yes.
that is the way to do it. That's how AC/DC did it. That's how most of these bands did it. You still get to see the dudes, but it's on the back. The front is basically representing what the album is.
Yeah. I think AC/DC only done it on Highway to Hell. All of them standing there on the front. It's kind of cool though. And but Angus is usually representing the Bon Scott album covers, except that one. And they're all on stage on Let There Be Rock, but it's at a distance and to the side, and it's got a cool background. But as times went on, it's usually been Angus doing something to the theme of the album. Basically, yeah, you're right. But yeah, I could have just imagined them standing there if they hadn't panicked with the makeup on. You got the new characters. You got maybe you got new uniforms this time. Who knows? That's what I really wanted. Don't get me wrong. I was excited to see them without makeup. I had seen shots, magazines, stuff like that. But I guess in hindsight, you look back and think, man, I just wish they would have held tough another album or two, because Creatures just didn't get the respect because of the last three albums, what had started, and people had give up on them. But I'm not going to go down that road yet. We're going to go down that road. Lick It Up is my number 28, a superb album from front to finish. It's just the album cover. Yeah, we don't have makeup now. This is us. I understand why they done it. Right. Yep.
Mhm. So my 28 is an album the only album I hate, but the cover is not horrendous in Monster. I love the Monster logo, even though it really has always resembled the Monster drink to me.
Yeah.
But again, I love the Chrome Kiss logo. I love the pose of the band, but again, too cartoonish for me. It should have been more like a vivid 4K picture in that same pose. I think that would have been much cooler.
I agree. And we was almost ding, 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 ding. Number 27, Monster. Okay, yeah, they got the makeup on. The covers, Gene, I like his pose, man. I got nothing against that. It's not the album. I can't stand the album. Everybody knows that. That's just the way it is. The cover has made it to 27, guys. I mean, so I'm not trying to be biased here with the album. So the Monster is cool. How, like Rob said, man, the album cover is pretty cool, but where's the imagination? What's the Monster? What are we doing? Are we the Monster? How's it? There you go with that. But as far as a visual effect, that's Kiss and makeup. Yeah, you got to be on front of the album some way, shape, or form. But believe it or not, there's some album covers that I do love that they're not on. So that's my number 27, Monster.
Yeah. My 27 is a fantastic album, and hands down my least favorite four-face Kiss album cover with the makeup, Dynasty. This cover never did anything for me as a kid. In fact, the only ones that looks cool on here is Paul. You got Ace and Peter with their chins cut off, and you got Gene with his forehead cut off and a stupid look on his face, and his face appears to be twice as long as everybody else's. This just looks like an unorganized, quick, selfie type photo. I'm not a fan. When I do thumbnails for bands and shit, I get so mad when I'm trying to find something that represent the song or the band and the goddamn head's cut off. That style of photography just pisses me off. You should have a complete face. You don't need to have a complete body. If they're playing a guitar, cut them off at the knees. I don't care. Why the hell are Peter and Ace sitting there with no chins? And Gene's forehead's gone. Like I said, the only one that comes off looking cool on this is Paul. And I am not crazy about the grayish white border with the orangish red fucking Dynasty. This whole cover is just completely worthless to me.
Yeah, and I'm not too far behind you, man. I understand, and I'm like you, Rob. I've never been a huge fan of that cover either. If you ask me, they are miserable at the time, and they look it.
Yeah,
they look it. And really, you're the biggest band in the world at the time. I mean, literally, you're the biggest band over any genre, anybody, everywhere when this comes out. I don't care what anybody says. That's what you got. Dynasty and your four faces. It looks like it's trying to cram into a camera this big.
Yeah.
What? Where's the uniforms at? Where's the
I mean, in this vein,
skyscraper or
yeah.
something? You know,
And if you're going to do the face, imagine the solo albums if everybody was cut off at the fucking chin. What makes those solo albums so cool, besides the beautiful colors, is the neck and the jewelry, or
yeah,
Peter's fucking cross, thing on there. Paul Stanley's choker. I mean, you're cutting off their head and stuffing a picture into an undersized camera lens. It just, I don't like it.
I'm not. Like I said, I'll be there here shortly. Just because I'm a makeup man and the era is my biggest era doesn't mean that all of those album covers are my favorite. So, and my number 26 is Gonna Tell Tale. It's probably my second, third favorite album of theirs is next. And I never really understood this album cover. Now, a lot of people love it, but I never understood why we're dressing in suits that really don't fit us, especially Gene, and we're black and white, and it looks like it's Dressed to Kill. It looks like somebody took Peter's hair and put oil in it and just pasted it to his head. I'm trying to. I've always, even as a kid, I'm like, well, okay, they're dressed to kill. They're in suits, but I didn't think about the high waters and all that stuff back then. The music done the talking for me back then. I love this album front to back. I adore this
Gene's fucking pants don't even come anywhere near his ankles.
No. Paul's riding around ankle weight on here. You know, they borrowed Bill of Coins suits. That's whose suits they're wearing. Bill of Coins. Yeah, that's how broke they were, guys. This is 3 albums. They didn't have money to buy suits, man. So, yeah, man. And they, their poses is not bad, but the black and white, I mean, Hotter Hell was colorful as hell. You're coming out with the next album, and it looks like something that may have come out in the 60s or something, dude. I love the album. Dressed to Kill, number 26 for me, man. Yeah.
Okay, my number 26, because we are not going on back covers or gatefolds, Alive 2. This is, to me, it's a tension grabber. Don't get me wrong, that you'll spot this album. But if you're going to put the faces of the band, why are they in little fucking postage stamp thumbnails on the fucking bottom with Alive 2 bigger than fucking Dallas across it? I get the huge logo, but again, why even put the faces on there? The same photos from the back that are huge. If you're going to just do that, then just keep them off the front and do something, put some fire around the Kiss Alive 2 or something instead. I just don't. I've never been crazy about that cover.
All right. Duly noted, man. Duly noted. All right. Number 25, right? Okay.
Yes.
Now we're getting into album covers that's maybe not but I like this album cover. I just, I don't know what it was about this album cover. I don't know if it was the yellow and the blue. The cracked mirror was pretty cool, man. But it's the Crazy Nights album cover, guys, and it's not bad. But it's just never been one of my favorite album covers by them. I mean, could you imagine that album cover with their makeup on, dude? I'm just saying, I done been over it. I'm not going to go over it again, but that's just me. That's just the way I look at things. yeah, definitely not going on the backs. Paul taking his pants off for everybody back
Uh,
there almost.
that blue thong
Gene,
is a thing of nightmares.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, yeah, and Gene, he's got a different wig on every album. I mean, god damn, dude. But anyway, yeah, it's this album cover. It's not the other ones. It's not bad. If the cracked mirror hadn't have been in there, it would have been horrible. But I like that I like the cracked mirror. I do like that part of it. The Crazy Nights 25.
All right. 25 for me was a very fun album cover and gatefold when I was young, a kid, elementary school. But as an adult, double platinum, I love the reflectiveness, the shininess of it. But at the end of the day, it's very plain otherwise. When I was a kid, I loved because everything was embossed, right? So you put a piece of paper over it, especially on the inside gatefold with the four faces, and you take a pencil and you just, scribble on a piece of paper and you got that perfect picture of each member. But going on just the front, again, I love how shiny it is. Maybe if they would have had a little more color in the Kiss, one of the Kiss logos, like they did with the words double platinum, I don't know. But again, it's a cool concept. It just isn't anything that I wouldn't buy a poster of the double platinum album, put it on the wall, put it that way.
All right. Number 24. You just touched on it a couple albums ago. Honesty. Okay. These guys do not look like a band that's on top of the world, and it didn't hit me like that when I bought it. I just couldn't wait to get it and listen to it and loved it. Even I was made for loving you because they didn't do any wrong. Okay. The only wrong they had done up until that point in time was Peter Criss's solo album. Now I did notice that, but I don't know. It's almost like a jump scare for Gene, and Peter. He's already out. He ain't even on. He don't play but one song on this album. You can just look at his face and see how miserable he is. Ace, you can't really tell if he's that fucked up on here or not. I've tried diagnosing his eyes. I don't think he's too bad here. Paul, they just don't look happy on this album at all, and they just didn't get creative. And I love the album. I do. The cover, just for the biggest band in the world, I figure you're going to be coming out with the best cover. You're going to be coming out with the best album. You're not going to be fucking around with this and to hold your stature. So that would be my number 24.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. My number 24, is a greatest hits. That could have been so much cooler.
And, wait a minute.
Yep.
Greatest hits. Which one?
You wanted the best. You got the best.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I got you.
So again, with the cartoon theme, I can't, even the flames, even the Kiss logo are cartoon. Okay, welcome back in. We've had some interruptions to deal with throughout the night. We've recorded 3 videos. We're coming back to piece together this one, the first one. And I left off with my take on my number 24. You wanted the best, you got the best. And my take is that it could have been so much better had the whole thing not been a cartoon. Again, that's my theme. Even the Kiss logo is a cartoon. I think if you got real flames, the real faces, and a real Kiss logo with the lights and everything, that's a way cooler album cover. I love the concept of it, but the cartoonishness for me just doesn't work.
Okay. And fair enough. You have the ones that, like me, that love the art cartoonish stuff, and ones that like the real stuff, but I like a little bit of both. It's just according to what it looks like and how they got it set up too, So, and it's this next one for me, number 24. is it's not bad. It really ain't. I need to go ahead and say that we're at the album covers that I really like now. So I mean, and believe it or not, um, I think that their faces should have been cartoons on this, and it would have been probably better for me. It's Sonic Boom, and it's not bad. I mean, literally, it's not bad. It beats the shit out of Monster, in my opinion. I love just the faces. I know they tried to go back to the rock and roll over theme type vibe with this, man. I mean, but I like the Sonic Boom. I like the speaker. I wish they would have been like or similar to the rock and roll over, but not identical. So that's my take on it. I wished it would have been their drawings on this one instead of the real thing, but it is what it is, and it's not a bad cover. Sonic Boom, I actually like it pretty good.
And that was your number what?
That was my number 24, man.
Okay, we just missed my 23 is Sonic Boom. Definitely the rock and roll over vibe. A pretty cool cover. I don't like Tommy's makeup on this. It looks like there's just one big triangle coming down on each side instead of, the sharp edged, multiple. But that's nitpicking. I mean, it's a cool cover. Now, when I say cartoon, there are obviously some iconic ones that you could call cartoon, but to me, they're more paintings than cartoons. So we'll get to that. But Sonic Boom, like Scott said,
basically what you're talking about is like the comic strip stuff, like
yeah.
Okay,
Just like a kid did it with some crayons and shit.
Not great art. You like that.
Yeah.
So okay,
Yeah.
Got you.
So anyway, that's Sonic Boom, my number 23.
All right, number 23 for me, and I have heard a few podcasters do the album covers, but not many. And I don't know why. That's a good subject to do on your podcast, I would think. I always got into it. I always liked it.
Yeah, I've never heard one.
Really? I've only heard a couple of them do it, but it's more like a debate instead of it's like, well, just everybody do their own thing, whatever. But this one, be honest with you, never bothered me that much. But I've heard nothing but shit on it ever since. Well, from people that have done it. Let me put it that way. I just wish they would have put a stamp up in the corner, maybe diagonally in like a bright kiss, or silver or something or whatever, or kind of with a postage stamp. I like how that's done. I like the Hot in the Shade theme. It does have a theme to the album. It does, and the CD's even cooler, man. It's a mirror. The sunglasses on him are a mirror, man. So they really done good with this, to be honest with you. But it's too plain everywhere else. They should have been a kiss or a pyramid with kiss in it or something somewhere, just a little bit more color, but not bad. The best stage show I've probably ever seen, as a Kiss show or any show, to be honest with you. That was fucking spectacular. I mean, so, all right, yeah, man, Hot in the Shade, number 23 for me.
Okay, my 22, I remember Scott did touch on this, and we're talking about Dressed to Kill. Gene with the world's worst case of floods that I've ever seen in my life. I don't know why he chose to be in a suit that is not in unison color-wise with everybody else. I don't like this. I know it's cutesy, tongue in cheek. They're dressed to kill like James Bond or something. I think it's cheesy. I think it takes all of the evil dangerousness of the makeup characters, especially this early on in their career, and throw them in a bunch of monkey suits. I also never liked the way they had to leave one S off of one of the kisses around this to make it fit. Thinking people wouldn't notice that. I noticed it immediately when I
Really?
first got
See, I
it.
was one that didn't. I never paid attention. Somebody told me years later, and I'm like, damn, it is. Um, and I will say this, yeah. Think about it. They just come off of a album that was kind of dangerous and raw, like hotter
Yeah.
than hell, bro. And the colors and the the faces on the front, man, the tongue and Gene's hair looked like in a bonnet.
Every one of them looked evil as evil gets. Even Peter
Yeah,
looks evil on this cover. And then you come into this sharp dressed man crap. I just never liked it. Not when I was young, not when I'm age I am now. I just don't.
yeah, and it fell pretty low for me. And like I said, guys, I'm not using that because I love that album and hold it in such high regard. But a cover's a cover, and
Yeah.
that's what we're ranking. So, all right, next. Now, like I said, I like all these from Sonic Boom up. There's none that I don't, and that's my opinion on mine. Rob's got his opinion on his. I heard a lot of shit on this one too, man, and it's the Revenge uh album cover, and I think it's badass. I really do. I love the bullet holes in the metal background. That looks hardcore. That looks metal. They don't have makeup on. They don't need to be on the front. Have some kind of raw looking. I think that I don't know the Revenge in the red is wickedly awesome. I was going to say maybe the Kiss in the red, but I don't know if the Revenge would have stood out as good in the red if the Kiss would have been red or whatever. But I do, and I love the shot of them in them long leather trench coats, dude. The look, I got no problem with. I don't give a damn if they was trying to look like Megadeth, Metallica, whatever. Look is fine, but I never had a problem with it. So
Well,
yep.
and that was number what?
That was number 22 for me.
And my 21 is Revenge.
Oh, whoa.
The
Okay, guys, stop. Halt.
Yeah.
My bad. I messed up. Uh, yes, this would be my number. Let's see, Hot in the Shade. I done it. The next one for me was Alive 4. See, I don't
Which
have
one?
I don't have a copy of it to show. I've got the DVD or whatever,
Yeah.
so I had to write it down. So Alive 4, I love the gray. Now I think the CD it's black, right?
Black.
Okay, the DVD's gray and it's got the damn blood dripping down, and I really like it. I do. I mean, I know they got makeup on and stuff there, man, but I do love
But
how.
not on the cover.
Hmm?
Not on the cover. They don't have their
Oh
faces on it.
no. They got makeup on that CD, of course, but
Gotcha.
it didn't bother me that they didn't represent themselves because on the DVD, it's made like double platinum. You can feel it. There's grooves and stuff, and the blood. There's a groove all the way down. So I actually like that. That was my 23.
Okay, so that was your 23.
Yeah.
All right, so your 22 was Revenge.
No, I got out of line here somewhere.
So what was your 22?
Yes, Revenge would have been my 22.
Okay. And then what's your 21? Because you should be on 21. Because I'm about to do 21 now.
Oh, you're
And
about
you're
you're about
and
to do
you
21
started.
now?
Yeah. No,
Oh,
yeah. I'm about to do because I just did Dress to Kill at
no,
22.
no, 22 was our that's where we was at on 22.
Yes, and your 22 was Kiss
Alive
Alive 4.
4. Yep. And so now you're on 21.
But you would be because you went first. So you should be
Oh,
doing
I
21.
went first. Okay. My 21 is going to be that's where we missed a number at. That's why I thought we missed a number because I've got Revenge at 20. So
Okay, so
I guess Revenge would be my 21. Surely I didn't number wrong.
okay, so
Let me check 1 second and I'll be right with you. Yeah. Yeah, we must have double numbered a while ago or skipped a number or something unless you got yours numbered and you know for sure we're on the right
I
track.
got mine numbered. I got 33 Carnival of Souls, 32 Unplugged, 31 Alive 4, 30 Asylum, 29 Unmasked, 28 Monster, 27 Dynasty, 26 Alive 2, 25 Double Platinum, 24 You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best, 23 Sonic Boom, and my 22 was Dress to Kill.
Okay. 22. 21. What the fuck? What am I missing here? Well, let's just go with I went first, right? That'll be my
Yeah.
20. I guess that'll be my 21. Alive 4. Yeah.
Okay, so Revenge would be your 22.
No, Revenge would be my 20.
Okay.
Let me name
Well,
them all. Let me name them all.
Okay.
I've already mentioned 33 Carnival of Souls, Smashes, Thrashes, Asylum, 31, Alive 330, MTV Unplugged, 29, Lick It Up, 28, Crazy Nights, 27, Dress to Kill, 26, Monster, 25, yeah, I missed something here. Yep. Dynasty, 24.
Yeah, you did
Dynasty
Dynasty.
24 and Sonic Boom 23.
Okay, then if that's the case, we hit on Sonic Boom.
Okay. Then we hit on Sonic Boom. Okay.
So
Yeah.
then
Yep.
so then your 22 was what?
I got
Sonic Boom was your 23. What's your number 22?
Alive 4
Okay.
is my
And
22.
and your 21?
My 21, I guess, would be Revenge.
Okay. So we've hit 2 then.
I don't know how. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So we hit on Sonic Boom, and my 21 is Revenge. Like you, I think the album cover's kind of cool. I kind of think they should have done some longer dripping spray paint off of the Revenge, kind of making it look like blood. But you know, it's a cool cover. It's just not a very memorable cover, and that's why it falls down this far for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree. But like I said, I'm a fan of the non-makeup era with them. I'm okay with them not being on the covers of it. So,
Yeah.
okay. Next up is 20, right?
Yes.
I'm somehow I am I'm off a number here, but my numbers are correct because I'm at 19. And,
Uh,
we can just say fuck it and go on ahead, right?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
just because
that's
there ain't
fine.
no sense in going through that. Yeah, and I'm looking at my numbers. My numbers are right, but I don't know what the hell's happened, so I don't fuck it. My next one, there we go. We'll put it that way.
Yep.
One that I actually thoroughly enjoy that a lot of people don't. I mean, not a lot of people, but what I've heard don't. And it's a album that you hold in high regard, and I do too as of later years. Music from the Elder. Now, I love that door wherever it is. Looks like maybe a castle door or something. And the hand doesn't really bother me, but I love the Kiss, the Elder in that red. That is just bad. I like it. I've always liked it, even though they've got makeup on this album. I've got no problem with that. I know it was supposed to be something that never become, but I like the cover of that, the Elder.
Okay. My next one is The Elder. I love this cover. And I would take it a step further that if you were including front cover, gatefold, and back cover, this might be my favorite Kiss album cover of all time. And I don't want to hear about poor advertising, no KU. How would you know as a kid? I'm not talking about if it was a smart move or not. I'm saying I love it. If I could have that dining room set down to the lighting in my fucking house, I would be like a pig in shit. That is badass. That fucking door. I long to have one of those solid fucking doors that you could use a battering ram on and not even dent it. The door's like 8 feet tall. I just love it. It's fucking definitely perfect for the theme of this album, especially when you open that gatefold. It's just something right out of the Knights, medieval time type stuff. I think it's just fucking awesome. So there you go.
I do too, man. I'd be having a gothic medieval dinner on that table every day, man. That's awesome. I love it too, man. Kind of confusing when it first came out to me, but
Sure.
time has
I'm not saying it's a good representation of the band. I'm just saying it's that fucking cool.
I like it too, man. Whether the hand, it couldn't even had the hand on it, and I'd have been fine.
Yep.
Next up, one that I've heard. Here we go again. People don't like that I've listened to, and I don't understand it for the life of me. I've always liked this cover. I think it is cool as shit. I think it represents the album spectacular, and it's freaking Animalized, bro. I mean, it is a freaking good representation of the album. Yeah, you got the picture on the back, but we're doing the front, and I love how the yellow and the red, man, it just stands out with those colors, man. Whoever done the little logos on these with the writing of the title on some of these albums really done a good job, in my opinion, and put in the right spots. And this is one of them right here to me. Animalized is a damn great cover.
Okay, my next up is one you spoke of, Leon, the Sphinx, Hot in the Shade. I too think on the upper left-hand corner, they could have had just even in black, just a Kiss logo, kind of like an ink stamp, like the postage stamp, to make it a little bit more identifiable to fans in passing when it was new. But I remember watching Headbangers Ball when this tour was kicking off in Lubbock, Texas. And they were there for like a week doing their dress rehearsals and everything. And so Ricky Rackman had interviews with them, all of them, seemingly fucking every night. It was so cool. They were showing the stage, getting put together, and others like, this is the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. To this day, you can take your 300,000 video screens on the End of the Road tour and stuff them. You give me a big iconic Sphinx or Screaming Eagle or Defenders of the Faith Monster, a Big Eddie, whatever, over a bunch of goddamn video screens 10 out of 10 fucking times. I think that technology has produced some of the laziest set fucking backdrops for bands of every fucking genre. It's all right. You go to that stupid fucking big sphere in Vegas now. Oh, you wouldn't believe the whole thing's this video screen. Who gives a fuck? I can watch a video screen at home. Give me a big blink and kiss sign, or give me a big badass stage prop behind that explodes apart. Fucking A. I love the album. I love the concept. I love the concert. So if people are ripping that, then go fuck yourself, because I think it's a cool fucking concept. A Sphinx with shades on? How fucking badass is that? I mean, that's...
I love it too, man. And what you were saying about the shows, bro, I'll take all the shows that I've seen, man, with no video cameras at all. You're focusing on the band. You're focusing on what's going on stage, the background, the in and outs, thank God, if I can remember correctly, Alice Cooper, he didn't have any of that when I went and seen him. Man, you seen everything.
And like Rock Timber, you can put the video screens on the outside of the stage for the people who are far away, but stop putting it behind the band in an end of the roads case, above the band, beside the band. You're supposed to be watching what's on stage.
Yep.
That's it.
And I'm a firm believer in that. I think it takes attention away from what's actually going on. And yeah, man, I'll take the Eddies. And the Sphinx was one of the reason I say that is Kiss, whoever designed that and come up with it's a fucking genius, especially for a tour that wasn't probably going to happen. And for the best stage show for one of the flunkiest albums they ever done, it was remarkable.
I mean, for fuck's sakes, they come out through the mouth with lasers shooting through.
Lasers.
It's fucking amazing concept.
Yes, and the breakdown when when they start playing "I Want You" or something, and it starts smoking and breaking down, and that big Kiss sign comes up, man, and oh man, bro, that was fucking genius. Yeah, I could go on and on, bro. Next up for me, Kiss Killers. I've never had a problem with this album cover. I wish the S's, it's the German or whatever, because of the S's or whatever, but screw it. The album cover is...
That's all there really was, though, right? There was no American release of that.
No, nothing I know of, yeah. And
I know there was a Japanese release, I think, that had some different tracks on it, but the logo was always the same.
Yes.
With the Z's on it.
I love those colors, man. The pink background, dude. I think they could probably use something a little more than the blue, but the blue's not bad. It's just a total diverse of colors, man, matching there. I love how it's set up. I love Eric, man. You can tell it's just right after the Elder, with the hair and their outfits and stuff, man, and it's just badass. I love pink, so there you go.
Okay, little nostalgia on my next one, smashes, thrashes, and hits. For whatever reason, this album, and I really can't put my finger on it, I was so goddamn excited for, even though there was only 2 new tracks, both of which I love, by the way, so go ahead and lambast me in the comments. I loved Paul's look in these fucking videos, whether it was X and Sex with the fucking black leather or the chainmail fucking muscle shirt, which I think is just badass. I wanted one of those so fucking bad when I saw that video from Rock Hard. This album has always been special to me, even though I never really spent much time listening to the remakes. It's just a period of my life when it came out. It was just exciting for me. And I personally love the cover because of the hands. It reminded me that they're coming off of Crazy Nights. And my favorite thing about that Crazy Nights video, which you've never seen anybody fucking do before, Paul Stanley dancing on the hands of the fans. And that's what this picture of the photocopy or album cover reminds me of. It's like these hands just lifting Kiss up to the top of the world. I think the symbolism is fucking cool. Standing like giants, whatever you want to fucking make out of it. Could it have been color? Yeah. I get what they were going for with the, the high contrast with the red background, but then make it black and white, not, bronze, off white or something. And I think that red would have stood out even better, but whatever. I love it.
To each his own. There you go.
Yep.
Next up for me, you've already touched on, and it's one that I've always loved. And I guess after all these years, man, I don't know if I would have changed it or anything, but it's Kiss Alive 2. I just love the red and blue, dude. It is just so, I guess, just coming off of 76, everything's red, white, and blue, seems like at that point in time. And I love the pictures on front, even though Ace's hair looks red and Gene looks like he just crawled out of a damn sewage pipe. Peter looks like he's fried beyond belief. And so, yeah, and Paul actually almost looks like he don't even have any white makeup on. But
yeah,
it's always, I guess, been just an iconic cover. I just love the big Kiss Alive. They could have probably done something different with the pictures, or not even put pictures on the front at all, like you were saying.
I tell you what, even now that you say that, even as a kid, that kind of was a letdown and kind of bothered me. Paul with his peach face, which wasn't so incredibly glaringly obvious till you looked at the big pictures on the back. And I know it's stage lights, but you couldn't have done something where you had a purple light on him or something. I mean, it's like you had the star on with a really good tan, and that's it.
Yeah, at first, when I first seen this, I was like, damn, is he looking through a window? I thought it looked like a damn window going around his damn face. But yeah, man, I've always loved the big Kiss Alive with a kiss with the red and blue, man, Alive 2. And yeah, that would be my next up on the list, Kiss Alive 2.
Okay, my next up is, and this bothers me, and I have the CD and the 3D VHS, Psycho Circus, but I'm too lazy to pull them out. When I look at these, because I got the websites up now going through the album covers so I can see them visually, they always show the fucking closed curtain with the Kiss logo, and that's it. And that's bullshit. When I say I love this cover, it's because it was holographic. And what I love about the cover is that big fucking evil clown face on the circus cart with the wagon wheels and each member of the band in those fucking creepy windows, each one looking fucking evil as hell. I don't know why these websites keep depicting it that it was Kiss's logo on a circus curtain and that's it, because that is not the fucking albums I've got.
Wow. Yeah, that is kind of crazy, ain't it?
I mean, if that was the case, I would have rated this thing almost dead last, because that looks like shit. A red curtain with yellow stars and moons and the logo Kiss on it, that looks fucking terrible.
I think
so when I actually look up the album cover on Google and go to images, fucking 99% of them have the fucking clown cart, like I like the evil, and it's kind of holographic depending which way you kind of turn it. But the pictures on these Kiss sites that give the pictures of the albums is just this plain red and yellow curtain with the title on it. Yeah, that curtain with Kiss running across the front of it. That'd be boring as fuck.
That's the backside of the
that's the cover I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's the backside of the special CD that come with the 3D video right here, man. The curtain on the back. I don't know why they would represent that part of it,
I don't know.
Okay. Next up on my list, and from here up, was exceptionally hard for me. And I know that a lot of people probably this is their number one or close to it, and I love it. So don't get your ass, uproar about it. But it's Alive 1. I've always loved how they're on the stage, man, and they're performing, and Ace has just got his guitar in some crazy way. Gene's plucking the bass, Paul, he's just got his lips, Peter in the background, and you can't even hardly see him.
Yeah.
But on the album, you can make him out a little bit better. Alive 1, iconic freaking cover, man. It is. It's great. I got no problem with it. Gatefold, all that stuff's great on it. So, yep.
Okay, my next one you have already touched on, and it is Alive 3. I will say I agree with you because you really can't make out anything in those fucking letters unless you're up close and really looking, especially like in the V, you can see Paul pretty big. But most of those shots are the bands from a distance. But I love the concept. I love the bright orange lights against the black background. I just wish they'd have been close-ups, especially in the KISS logo. You could have had Paul's face taking up the majority of one, Gene, Bruce, Eric, etc. But I love the concept. I love the colors. So, yeah, there it is. I like that album cover.
Yeah, and colors means a lot to me too, man. It really does. I'm one of those. Yeah. You just touched on it. We just about hit the 3D back and forth Psycho Circus album cover. And yeah, this is the one that changes back and forth with the whatever. And yeah, it's Kiss on the cart with the big clown face and their evils wagon wheel windows are looking out of. And I've always loved that cover. I thought it represented the band absolutely great, especially for an album that, of course, you find out in time is fake as fuck. But the album cover is what I'm judging, and I've always liked that. I think that's a good representation of Kiss right there.
Okay, my next one you have already touched on, and it is Kiss Killers. I was not a fan of the look of Ace and Gene. I actually didn't mind Paul's hair like that, especially with the colorful headband and the big black pearls around his neck. I thought that he was really classy looking. I thought Ace in the lightning bolt leotard looked ridiculous. It was like basically a naked man out there wrapped in cellophane. It looked horrific. And Gene's hair, it looks like he just got off the set of Runaway. Fucking terrible. Eric Carr looked pretty cool, but I love the vivid fucking colors on this. That bright light bar across it in the background with the pink V and the bright light blue Killers. And did you notice that Killers is written in the same exact font as Power Age from AC/DC?
Oh, it is, ain't it, man? I didn't realize that too. Just how I said it, but it damn sure is.
So I found this, I didn't even know it was a release, and I fashioned myself back then, 12, 13 years old, as a know-it-all Kiss fan. So when I discovered this, it blew my fucking mind, because of course it was years after it had been released, and I had no idea. There was no press for this anywhere ever. Very little in any Kiss magazine, and trust me, I bought them all, even the teen magazines, just to fucking read the Kiss articles. So this blew my fucking mind when this came out, or when I discovered it was already out.
Yeah, I used to get them magazines too, man. Dang it. I miss those days. Surprises, My next one up is one you've touched on a while back, and this is not for everybody, but I love it. They did release this in different shades, some more of a darker gray, And that's not the one that I'm referring to. The one I'm referring to is down near the mirror silver, the double platinum with the damn red, man, in there. I always loved that since day one.
They did that same shit with Dress to Kill, where that outside trim was in different shades of gray. I don't know why that happened, but yeah, I've never seen the dark gray that you're talking about for double platinum. I've always seen the shiny one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a darker, not real dark, but a very darker shade than this. And I just wonder if it's the albums. You got 180 gram, and you got different grams of albums, like you're saying with Dress to Kill and stuff like that. Man, I just wonder if that had anything to do with it, and or
Maybe.
if it was released somewhere else. Yeah. But double platinum, the red, my favorite color, red, burgundy, those colors anyway. And I just love how it just stands out, man. And I love how they done, I guess Sean Delaney, done with the silver, just mirror, man. You could take it outside in the sun and put somebody's eyes out with this album.
Yep. Okay, my next one is it's not right to do it all as one. So my next 4 are going to be the solo albums, just in the way I prefer visually. The cover has nothing to do with my love or hatred of any member. The songs on the albums, nothing, just the ones in order of how cool I think everything came out. So my next one up is Paul Stanley. And that ought to prove that I'm not being biased, because everybody knows I love Paul Stanley more than any other Kiss member ever.
Okay. So you're
I'm now gonna go. My next pick will be another solo, because I rate them all the same, but I wasn't gonna take up one number in the list for 4 albums. That's not right. So
right, gotcha.
I got Paul Stanley as my next one, as my least favorite visually stimulating cover.
Okay. All right. Wow, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one is, and I've always loved it. Like I said, guys, we're in the love now. And the debut, it's always been a freaking, I wish they would have never got away from the silver sparkle.
Yes.
Stud.
That bling fucking logo, I would kill for a leather jacket done with that across the back. Man, would that be spectacular.
Yeah, man. And the only thing is, Peter's makeup is wild as hell on this thing. I know he got done by somebody that does that or whatever, but you could imagine having to put that right there on every damn show. Wow. Gene, they hadn't really come true to form yet. Ace and Paul, I think, were, but Gene and Peters has adapted over time. But a freaking awesome cover, man. Very good.
Okay, my next one up, another solo, and this is Gene Simmons. Always as a kid was, fascinated with the drip of blood. All these covers are beautiful, by the way. Whoever this fucking artist is, and I know all you Kiss fans know who it is. I don't care. Shut up. I'm just saying he's a hell of a fucking artist. Obviously, these 4 albums would encompass, each color representing each member going forward. But Gene, almost at his coolest for the makeup design. Gene went through many, many changes, as did Ace, and a lot of people don't realize it because they were such subtle changes. I mean, obviously the drastic changes from the early covers, but through the late 70s and up through Dynasty, Gene and Ace's makeup, and even Peter's to extent would change minor, like Peter adding the green around his eyes and then the black. I never liked that, all of Dynasty. I thought that was pointless. I'd never seen a cat in real life that had, you know, green fur around his eyes, but whatever. I think it was carried away because then even on that Dynasty cover, Ace has got like blue mascara inside the silver. I think they started to get a little too carried away with that color representation that started with the solo albums. But anyway, Gene is the next up on my list.
Okay. Next up, you've already touched on it, and I absolutely love it. I'm not as crazy about the CD. It's you wanted the best, you got the best. I love the fire in the background. I love how they put them on there, man. It's just damn near perfect, dude.
Do you have any idea, on a side note, why that would be so hard to come by or popular? I still have the CD. I think I've got two of them. But I had the album, and we're talking 2 years ago. I bought it at a local record store for like $5. Fucker was pristine. You know, I don't listen to greatest hits. I've never considered anything beyond double platinum smashes and killers to be an actual Kiss release. But so I put it on eBay, you know, because I was starting to dabble with you. Motherfucker brought almost $200. I paid $5 for it. I don't understand. And I remember every day my phone blowing up, cha-ching, 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 people bidding. I'm like, this is the fucking greatest hits. Why the fuck are people fighting for this thing?
Because evidently they did not make as many copies of this when they started, when they came out with it. And there's one more that my friend down in South Carolina is trying to find, because he's got them all, even different freaking countries and shit. But he is soul searching for, and it's Sonic Boom. He's like, God damn, man. He said, if you do find it, it's a fucking enormous amount.
Well, and I think a lot of that was Sonic Boom that came out well past vinyl. I was at Walmart on the release of that fucking thing, and that's all you could find is DVDs.
Yeah.
Or CDs, I'm sorry.
CDs and T-shirts and yeah. Me too, bro.
Okay. So we are up to my next solo album, which is Mr. Frehley. This was my favorite as a kid. Again, people, I was a mega Ace Frehley fan in elementary school. The blue at the time was my favorite fucking color, especially that electric blue. I love his, whatever he's wearing, that choker that comes down in a fucking V. I always thought he had blood in his mouth, which struck me as odd, but I suppose it's supposed to be like his tongue or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there it is. That's my next one.
Okay. My next one, you've touched on a back, and it's we're opposites when it comes to this. This doesn't bother me. It's the color configuration, especially on the album, man, and on the poster. I absolutely love, because it's so just colorful. It's unmasked. I have always adored even the back, you know, the different just fluorescent colors, man, just jumping out at you. Without reading it like a comic strip, man, just looking at it, dude, it's awesome. And the poster, which I had, of course, like that on the bottom there. Yeah,
you know, the thing that bothered me about the poster and a large chunk of the bottom of that cover is Gene with his finger coming out of the mouth of the mask. I think that looks just stupid. Whatever.
You know, now that I think about it, dude, they had to, they damn near had to do something. They could have just painted them and put them on here, but see, Peter didn't play on this album at all. See, so
I still want to know why Ace has feathers. You know, he had a blue cape, I know that, but it damn sure wasn't feathers. He looks like an eagle fucking spreading his wings there. I just, Whatever.
Yeah, no shit. It
Okay.
is, yeah, you're right.
Okay, so the last solo album, and as modern day tastes go, the most beautiful album is Peter Criss. That fucking green just pops even down onto his neck, and then that fucking cross thing on his chest, that like almost like your bullet holders for Rambo or whatever the fuck look he was going for. And his pose, his facial pose. The other ones, you know, Gene's trying to look evil and he kind of almost looks constipated. Well, he's not trying to. That's how the artist portrayed it. Paul just looks like it's another day in makeup, and Ace just is there. Peter actually with his head down a little bit. He's got that mysterious fucking big cat, I'm gonna rip your fucking throat out look. I just, there's something about this as an adult, the green and the black and his face pose. It's just, and the chest garb. Love this one the most.
All
Oddly,
right.
since I like it the least musically, but
Oh yeah, yeah, by far. Wow. Now this was rough, especially in this area here. Absolutely fantastic. Hotter than hell, man.
he betcha.
Just fucking fantastic. The back with the fingers holding the album cover, you know, just, and their orgy pictures.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. It just, yeah, man. This just jumps out at you when you look at it, and I've always
I
loved
tell
it.
you
Man.
that everything about this album, and I know we're only judging the fronts, was evil as fuck. Had me buying into the satanic fucking rumors, looking at the back, and Paul's was some blue bitch, and you got fucking some naked chick spread over someone's fucking lap. It's like they're sacrificing people.
Yeah.
This thing was sadistic to a young kid. This thing was fucking scary.
Yep. Hotter than hell, too, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of
They
course,
were
back in our early youth in the 70s and even into the 80s, satanic cults was a thing, man. I mean, they were running rampant in every fucking town. There was this cult, it hangs out here, this cult. I mean, it was something. Like, people worry about, you know, mass shooters now. You worried about cults more than anything. You know,
and
and
you never
Yeah.
knew who the hell they were or
Yeah.
who was in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so my next up is one you have touched on, and it is the best of the live covers alive. I would go as far as to say, as far as live albums go, semi-iconic. I love the depicted, you know, the fucking, what do they call those fucking candelabras back there behind Gene? I love the multicolored smoke. Yeah, I'm a little bitter that you can't see Peter's face that well. I love Ace's outfit, and we'll get into those eventually in a discussion.
Yeah.
This is another album that scared the hell out of me looking through the booklet that came with it. This is the only thing I have to nitpick is Paul's got one of the ugliest fucking guitars known to man on this. But, you know, it is what it is.
Oh, yeah, man. Okay, next up for me is, well, it can't be denied, and it never has been since it come out. It is absolutely back to form. The only thing that I would have done to this now, and this is the only thing, I'm not nitpicking, I love it like it is I would have done some kind of animalized drawing for Creatures of the Freaking Night, man. You know, some kind of wicked.
A different font, something more, you know, haunting or something.
Yeah, different spelling. Kiss is fine like it is. I love it how they got it in the pink, dude, with the fluorescent freaking black light background and the eyes, dude. The video, you get out of here, man. Just fucking wicked. Lightning storm on the back, man.
Yeah.
Just fucking awesome.
Man, if I'm not mistaken, one of the coolest sleeves to read along the words to was fucking black with like fucking white or gold print for the song, you know, the words to the songs and shit.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah,
have to
man.
open mine up. I haven't looked in so fucking long, but yeah. Epic cover.
Yes.
Okay, my next one I've got much higher up than Scott, but for nostalgic reasons, Lick It Up. I love that high contrast white too. Like Scott said, it's like a neon fucking sign in a record store. The reason I hold this in such high regard is because if it wouldn't have been for Gene's tongue, which they had him stick out for the exact reason that no one's going to know who you fucking are, and the Kiss logo, I would have had no fucking idea. This story never gets old for me. I see it in my head like it was yesterday. White Mart, one of the anchor stores at a mall here called Gateway Mall. And I'm flipping through the Kiss section. You know, again, kids, people, old people, whoever's watching this. There was no internet. There was no fucking buzz to say, hey, so-and-so's coming out with an album. And when you're talking about a band like Kiss, the radio station sure as fuck wasn't talking about it. So I'm flipping through Kiss, and this album comes up. Keep in mind, I did not see or hear anything about their unmasking on MTV. Not a clue that the makeup was coming off. I just saw the Creatures of the Night concert with Vinnie Vincent. It took me a week or so to figure out that wasn't Ace just with new makeup. I mean, that's how in the dark we were back then, people. You had to wait for your magazine once a month. You know, and of course, they're always behind because it's printed early, then released. So you had to wait to get your fucking information. So when I saw this album and the logo Kiss on there and Gene with his tongue hanging out, at that time in 1983, Weird Al Yankovic was on fucking fire. Basically dressing up and singing songs of other people's songs as parodies. That's what I thought this was. So why the fuck is this Weird Al fucking album sitting here in the middle of the Kiss section? So I had to go back and buy it once I got some fucking, you know, legitimate, you know, information. It blew me a fucking way. And still to this day, I love the outfits. I wish they would have kept that kind of look, at least for a couple albums, instead of jumping right to Mad Max. Vinny should have kept that wig because his long, stringy hair looks like shit. His vest there, that bright fucking purple. I love the jean jacket on Eric Carr. Gene with the badass black fucking leather jacket and Paul with the fucking suede or velour or something, sport coat. They look classy. They look like fucking just rich rock stars. I love everything about the cover. I really do. But most of it is nostalgia for me. I will be the first to admit that.
Well, at least because I didn't see the unmasking on MTV until after the fact.
Yeah, me too.
You know, they replayed it. You know, I seen the album cover at school. I think we were in the 8th grade. We were having some kind of party or something, man, and we was able to bring stuff, you know, and you know, there was a Def Leppard Pyromania there, a Quiet Riot Mental Health there, and a Kiss Lick It Up there, and they, you know, people were bringing different stuff, and I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know they took her makeup off. I thought that was Ace Frehley on the fucking cover. I didn't know Ace was gone yet. You know, just I didn't. Maybe I wasn't keeping up with the magazines and stuff at the time like I was supposed to, but the word wasn't going around. Maybe it was at certain.
Well, you know what? If you look at Ace Frehley's hairdo on the original Frehley's Comet, it's very fucking similar.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they went out of their way to hire someone who was going to resemble Ace, but I'm not. I mean, yeah, I was 10 years old, but when I saw Vinny on stage for Creatures, I literally thought Ace just changed his makeup. I mean, same long hair, same fucking skinny little wiry body. I mean, it obviously, you know, being that far away, you don't notice that Vinny's like 6 inches shorter than Ace, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah. On the album cover, that's the only thing that got me is like, damn, Ace is taller than that.
Yeah.
You know, so, but it didn't really, like I said, it was a culture shock. You
Yeah.
ain't never seen them in nothing else but makeup. There you go. For a kid, holy hell. Okay, you've done touched on these. It's these solo albums, and I'll go in order just like you did. Perfection, artwork, absolutely to the bone. I love every one of them, guys. So it's going to be a little different order than Rob. It's got nothing to do with really liking one more than the other. It's just I love them all, and I'm going with my number one of them because it's more iconic to me. The Peter Criss solo album, I love it. I love Green. I love everything about it. There's nothing that I don't love about all of these. This point in time, the album covers they had just come in, and this too, and they were just fucking unbelievable. Just absolutely stellar.
All right. My next one you touched on is the debut album Kiss. As a kid, I was really freaked out by Peter's makeup. Like, what the fuck is he going for there? It damn sure don't look like a cat. But you know, as I got older, I've come to really like Peter's older styles, especially the one after this, where his whiskers are downturned, like around Hotter Than Hell and shit.
Yeah.
Some of the photos, and he's holding the dagger and shit. He looks like a psycho badass horror show killer versus the pretty boy Peter Criss he became with the perfected, refined makeup. I'm not saying I prefer this, but I do like the older style for him. Ace, the silver hair, I think that works. I think that would have been cool to keep silver highlights. Obviously a pain in the ass, and I'm sure a lot of that was done with lighting to emphasize it. The one thing I noticed with Ace on these earlier covers is his eye makeup was so big with just a tiny border, and that really became refined to where the border was thicker and sharper, and it just looked better.
Yeah.
Gene, his makeup, this is not the one I would say is perfect, but the ones I love from Gene the most, I think, are around Hotter Than Hell-ish, where instead of the little tiny spikes on top, he's got the long spikes on top, but there are none on the bottom. It just kind of arcs out, and it looks looks so much better than having several of them. I mean, by the time Dynasty comes along, there's just as many on bottom on top. I didn't care for that. And Paul on this, I don't know that pose he's got. He looks like he's all face, hair pulled back off his, head. But it's so iconic, the black. And I've seen the proofs right nowadays of what those pictures really look like. You could see them all in their clothes and stuff. But it's that fucking rhinestone goddamn Kiss logo. Just, I couldn't stop staring at it as a kid. And then on the back, it's bigger than fucking life.
Yes.
And you got those purple fucking half arcs with the songs written in them. That is a fucking masterpiece album cover to me, and still is to this day.
Yeah. I mean, I got no quarrel with it, dude. Just only the one thing that I did about Paul, now I don't know if it's because he that pose. It looks like his bar is a little smaller, when it got a little wider and bigger. So
what if he would have stuck with the Bandit? Have you seen those pictures?
Yes.
I didn't think it looked that fucking bad.
I didn't think it looked bad at all, but I mean, of course, the star I prefer.
Well, sure,
but yeah, Bogart, wanted him to experiment with something else because it was feminine. The way he acted and stuff on stage, and and Paul tried it, but he wanted him to. What was he said? Lumber around on stage like a caveman too. Like a damn Gene or something. Did you see Paul acting like Gene on stage?
No, absolutely not.
Oh God! Both of them going to each side of the stage and spitting fire at the same time. Oh my God! Next up for me, man, Ace Frehley's solo album. Like I said, I love the blue. I love the paintings on all these. I really can't go into no details. They're all perfect to me. Yeah, we could have put them all in one spot, but you know, it is what it is. They're all flawless. They're perfect. They're great. The artwork is fucking phenomenal.
Okay, my next up may be the most evil cover I've seen by any band, shy of, forget all pentagrams and pictures of horned demons. I'm just talking about four normal guys looking like they're going to kill you and sacrifice your whole family. Hotter than hell. That album cover is so badass. Like I said, Peter looks fucking like a member of the Manson family back then. Just awesome. I don't understand as I'm looking at it. Is that supposed to be like the island of Japan on both sides or something? You got that yellow mountainous thing with the purple on top.
I never really knew, and still don't to this day.
Because it's got the Japanese letters right under Kiss's logo, so maybe it's a representation of this is what it looks like on Google Earth or something or whatever, a globe back
That's
then.
A possibility.
Yeah,
that's something I never thought of. So
and the Chakar emblem being used and brought back by the great Eric Carr decade later. Awesome. This whole thing has a Japanese feel to it, including the rising sun stripes out the side of the border.
Yeah, the flags. Yeah. Man.
And like you said, the fucking thumbs holding the album. How fucking cool is that? I love this artwork. This would be one I would want a fucking massive poster up for my wall.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
And if you ain't never went online and checked out all the photo shoots for this album cover, dude, there are some fucking phenomenal photo shoots, man, they could have put on there, dude. They were just different shapes and forms and just fucking great. They could have used any one of them. You ever get time, just check out Hotter Than Hell photo shoot by Kiss. Yep.
Absolutely.
Right. Next one, Paul Stanley. The reason that this one is so high over Ace and Peter is because I love purple.
Yeah.
And I love his hair on this damn thing. It's fucking just perfect. And that's Paul to a T. And purple, like I said, man, I've always liked. And I love blue. I love green. Ain't much colors I don't like. But I've always loved how they got his hair and his whole setup with the purple in the back on his album cover. So, perfect.
Okay, my next one's one you touched on quite a while ago, and like I said, I've never seen a podcast break down album covers. I've heard slights and pot shots at certain things like Asylum. The only crap I heard about this one, and for good reason, is Paul and his stupid baby blue thong on the back. But Crazy Nights cover to me is fucking phenomenal because my second favorite guitar by Paul Stanley and by any musician is the Shattered Glass BC Rich Warlock. My favorite one's the Heavens on Fire holographic guitar, which don't even get me started what I'd pay for that. But so this album immediately reminded me of that. I love the Shattered Glass effect on anything. And it's got little shards with different little pieces of their faces in it. It's just, to me, a masterpiece. They could have done something different with that fucking yellow Kiss logo. But other than that, I think the rest of the colors really pop in there. The blues against the darkened smoked glass that's broken and shit. I think it's a beautiful cover.
It's not bad. I love the broken glass. I got no problem with that at all. All right. My favorite one from all of them is Gene because it's the first one that I seen. It's the first one that I heard, and it burned into my brain. I was Gene Simmons hardcore too at the time, rotating toward Peter Criss and this transformation. with his solo album. I don't know why, but I love Peter and the drums. But Gene's with the blood, man, just Gene looking like Gene, man. The blood, the chains, the red is my favorite two colors. Just great. All the solo albums could be one pick, but there
Awesome.
you go. That's for the
See, and for
solo.
some reason, I've never been, not completely off topic, but I've never been a Gene guy. And I know as a kid, an elementary school kid, that's the natural pick, right? The blood, the fire, the bat wings, the evil fucking walk. And I was a horror film buff, man. My parents let me watch the Halloweens, the Friday the 13th when I'm in fucking third, fourth, fifth grade, man. So I like everything evil and scary. And Gene did scare the shit out of me, but he was never my guy. It was Ace until I got old enough to understand great vocals. And then it was Paul. And then years and years later, I started to really enjoy Peter's voice. But Gene's never been my guy. I don't know why. It's weird.
Yeah, and he's the first one that grabbed me. I'll have to say. Yeah,
As with most people, and for obvious reasons, especially young kids. Just like more young kids are a fan of Darth Vader on Halloween than Luke Skywalker. You want the ominous evil guy. It's cooler, So,
Yep.
Okay, another one you touched on. Wait, did you go last or did I? I did. I went Crazy Nights.
No, I done Gene's. It's your go.
Okay. So you've touched on this one as well, and this I have heard get shit on, and I don't get it because I was such an 80s guy and not just Kiss. I was an 80s fashion guy. I had parachute pants. I wore zebra stripe stuff, anything I could find. I remember making my dad, he lived in Colorado at the time, in like Lakeland or something, and I made him drag me into the depths of hell in downtown fucking Denver to what was like a rock star's clothing shop, and just having my mind fucking blown with all the animal print stuff and everything. And of course, we had merry-go-round back then at certain malls in bigger cities that carried that kind of clothing. So Animalize. I first of all, I love animal print, period. And fuck off, PETA people. What I'm not saying go out and slay animals. I'm perfectly content with fake knockoff stuff. I just like the appearance. I think animals, especially wild animals, markings are gorgeous, including zebra, leopard, tiger, all represented here. Again, I wish they'd have done something different than the yellow. I don't know what the fuck their fascination was with using yellow for the Kiss logo. I don't like it. Use red, use blue, use green, use black. I don't give a fuck. Bright ass yellow does not work with the covers, at least that they have put out. It clashes. It doesn't stand out. It clashes. Animalize would look a hell of a lot cooler if that was a black outline and white Kiss logo behind it, or a white with a red outline or something. But that yellow washes that red Animalize out, especially where it overlaps. But I love the animal skin print thing. The stage was the same as the album cover, right? That they're walking on the animal print. They're wearing the Mad Max, and even if it's just an armband for Bruce and Eric, they're wearing animal skins. The whole theme was fucking cool to me. So, and that cover, I used to actually draw that cover in my board time in school and stuff. I mean, I just always been an animal guy, so this cover was right up my alley.
Yeah, I love it too, man. All right. Getting down to the nitty gritty now, guys.
This is where it gets tough.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say these last few right here, guys, it's damn near impossible for me, and I will say, I'll wait and say that in a minute. I love these covers. These are the covers that I pretty much come into the band with. And it's not just nostalgia. Some of it may be, but I don't give a damn. These album covers are fucking unbelievable, and always have been, and still are to this day, in my opinion. Destroyer. Unfucking believable. Just absolutely tearing up a mountain, destroying everything in their wake, man. Freaking just, and I ain't gonna say anything because we got uniforms to go through and stuff like that, dude. But wow, yeah,
Yeah.
the orange and yellow kiss, man. It just everything's just so perfect at this time and era that they done art wise for their albums and stuff like that, man. I just fucking love it. Yep.
Yeah, if and I know, and I like too the purple and red on Alive too. But if you think of a Kiss logo, you think of that red, orange, yellow blend,
Yes.
that fucking
Yes.
gradient blend.
And that
Okay,
Kiss Army
this,
logo.
yeah, this is extremely hard for me. These next two, not as hard. My top two are loaded with nostalgia and fucking just pure awesomeness. Number 4, and again, these top 4 could change any day of the week, I think, really. Maybe not any day of the week, but any period of my life, whatever, is colors, schemes, whatever's, I'm into at the time. Much like Destroyer. Yep.
Did you say you had 4 left?
Yes.
Oh, I just went.
Yeah.
I had 3. Okay.
You just
I've
went
only
with
got,
Destroyer.
I've got 2 left.
Yeah, we knew we got fucked up on a number. It is
So
what it is.
if you got 4, then you go twice.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
Love Gun. Much in the same vein as Destroyer. Of course, as a young kid, seeing the big boobies on the girls doesn't hurt.
No, man.
The fact that they're all in white makeup makes it that much more awesome. The fucking green marble pillars, the misty smoke around. My only thing is, and yeah, I gotta hold my tongue because we are doing outfits eventually, and these fucking next albums, including this one, are gonna have a lot of winners in it. I love it. Without spoiling minutia of the characters, just I fucking love this album cover. This one wasn't as high up for me because this was not anywhere near an album I had very early on. It's one I got years later at, maybe 7, 8 years old instead of 5. So that's why.
Oh, okay. All right.
You want me to go again?
Yeah. It'll be you got 3 left, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. You go.
So the next one to me, so awesome that they used it for the stage floor of Unplugged. One of the coolest representations of a red hot fucking razor blade album spinning on a turntable. Rock and Roll Over. I know I say things about cartoons. This is the absolute exception to the fucking rule. The fact that this depicts an angel, a demon, a spaceman, a cat in the jungle, without even saying it, just by what's surrounding the member, the razor blade fucking Rock and Roll Over, the lightning bolts coming off of the bottom of all the Kiss letters, the color scheme of this is fucking off the charts. This, another one, I would love a huge wall hanger, like a huge area rug, in the living room or something, man. Fucking outstanding.
Absolutely, dude. Hey, I gotta get there. Last time I done album covers, this was my number 1. It's funny how things change even from that. And you just touched on it. I really unbelievably love these top 3 album covers. For me are just absolutely hard to put in order. And that's all that I really can say about that. Love Gun, man, is fucking phenomenal. It is so perfect, dude. It just, when I was a kid, now this is a kid's mind, when this came out, this is the album that I got to buy new when I came into the Kiss world, when it released. I thought that those 4 chicks were jeans, and Peter and Paul had 4 in the middle there, 2 apiece, and Ace had 3 over there. It was chicks. I'm like, okay, it's nothing, but I guess it's all right. Finding out later on, how jeans with women and stuff, well, okay, it makes sense. All right. It takes a little bit more for him. But absolutely the poses, the drawings, you could not have made them look more badass than standing there like, we're going to kick your ass, man. Y'all just don't know it yet. Bad to the bone. The blood, the inner sleeve, I know we're not doing that.
That was gorgeous.
Everything.
Isn't that weird how you can say blood on marble is gorgeous, but it is. That fucking bloody logo on that green marble background. Wow.
Yeah. Love it, man. Love it.
My number 2, this is so hard for me because I love both of these covers so goddamn much. Much nostalgia for both. But on top of that, just being spectacular artwork is going to be Creatures of the Night. I can't tell you how many hours I spent staring at this cover, staring into those glow-in-the-dark fucking eyes. And that fucking blue, like the Blue Man Group faces on that thing, are so haunting. It's like, don't go into the woods because this is fucking waiting for you. And then you see that loudest band in the world poster with them standing, that basically, the stand-up version of that album cover. Just fucking fascinating. Love the color. Love everything about it. And I think that inner sleeve had Lightning Storm on it too, like the back cover. I'm not positive. I'll have to look. I have the album inside. But yeah, spectacular.
And that's another one to go check out a photo shoot for too, man.
I've seen that one.
Okay. Fucking phenomenal. Okay, guys. Ding, ding, ding. We hit on a few earlier and in the list as we were going along, but we're not going to hit number 1 today. The very first time I laid eyes on the band, Rock and Roll Over, man. Absolutely you just don't know the hours I sit and just got probably headaches, neck aches, and shit, man, just trying to figure out what the fuck they are, man. Dude, Peter's ears, dude. Gene's tongue is serpent. It's Ace is shooting lasers through his eyes, man. Paul just looks like a twisted doll of some kind. It just, dude, the imagination, man, like I said, of a 7-year-old kid just runs wild. The fire, the space, the razor blade, man, the kiss with the arcs coming off on each corner, man. Just absolutely fucking I love it, man. I love them all. Like I said, these top 3 especially, and Creatures was right behind them. The solo albums, these all could be number 1 because the artwork is just so fucking phenomenal. The coloring on these are perfect. Nothing clashes with anything. Everything fits. The logos, the names of the album, just absolutely phenomenal, and an imprint in my brain till I leave this planet. Rock and Roll Over, man.
Okay. And my favorite, and I will preface this by saying you're welcome to disagree. Anybody out there, I get Eddie. I get, like we talked about, on the Rock Timber thing, some of the Molly Hatchet covers. Judas Priest got some cool covers. To me, this is the most iconic, memorable cover of any album by any band ever. The White Album, fucking Defenders of the Faith, fucking any Iron Maiden album. I don't care. This to me is the very definition of, if you were to say, show me a 70s rock album, this cover would be it. Fucking Destroyer, standing on top of a fucking city in ruins, a city burning behind him, like they just came through and fucking demolished everything. Everybody cut up with fucking muscle. It's just so epic. And this was my first album to set my eyes on. Until this day, I had seen Elvis, ABBA, Olivia Newton-John. This fucker, my brother brings home, and I can't even put into words what the fuck was going through my mind other than absolute awe and shock. I just, and it's still to this day, I like Creatures better as an album, but this cover to me is just beyond epic. And that's all I can say. Destroyer.
Yeah. Destroyer was my first Kiss album. Because I got it right after my cousin gave me that 8-track of Rock and Roll Over. And yeah, man, you're right, dude. It's like when you're looking at an album, it's a whole different world than looking at a cassette or anything like that, dude. It just grabs you. And then, of course, I wind up getting Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, and, on and on. But yeah, man, those album covers, I love the first three, don't get me wrong. Hotter Than Hell, Dressed to Kill, I wasn't crazy about, but the first one in Hotter Than Hell. But there's something about those second round, those
all three of them.
That I wanted them to stay with. I know they did through the solo albums, but I wanted them to stay with that format. Dynasty, however long, Creatures is perfect. That is what it is, and that's what it stays. But man, dude, just have them doing something different, man, on those album covers or their new outfits. That's why they're so special to me too. And that's when I come in. Yeah, nostalgia might play a little bit, but it doesn't disregard the fact how perfect the damn things are, man.
All right. Well, there you have it. Arguably the band with the most iconic album covers of all time. Not all great, but all pretty fucking ingrained in a serious music, rock, heavy metal listener. Even if you're not a Kiss fan, chances are you've seen these fucking covers. So
yes,
very, very good. And do you have? Do we want to spoil it, or should we do this off air with the next Kiss topic?
Let me see. We can. Yeah, I meant to do that. Just a minute ago. I see. We just done that one. We can. That one's going. This one here is going to take some work, but not really that bad because we're going to be doing, different albums now and AC/DC in between. So we'll have plenty of time to do this. We don't have to jump on it like the next day because that would be a lot of shit to do in one day. Do you feel like ranking their music videos?
Absolutely. Now, Kiss only or side projects, Freely's Comet, whatever?
Kiss only.
Kiss only. And that's original 4 plus whatever was a Kiss video.
Yes. Like
Rise to It and stuff like that.
Yes. Any Kiss videos that came out. Now, we would have to have a starting point.
Well, are we counting the Rock and Roll Over stuff? Because there was videos for that.
Yeah, that's what I was, definitely counting Rock and Roll Over. I didn't know whether to go back to the Dressed to Kill or not.
I guess if we can find it, we can talk about it.
They got
I guess I don't remember seeing any music videos prior to. I don't count TV show appearances, and stuff like that as a music video.
They got 2 music videos for Come On and Love Me and Rock and Roll All Night off of Dressed to Kill. They're on stage, but it's the like Rock and Roll Over, it's the album playing and they're jamming. It's like a live one promo clips, but they're full videos.
Okay, if they're full videos, then I tell you what, you put together a list. That'll be your homework.
Yeah,
Of every official Kiss video, and I'm sure you can search that on the internet too. So
yeah. I'll give you that list, and yeah, I'll do that, and I'll let you know when I got that list and let you start going through it.
perfect. So everybody, you heard him. Go out and watch the Kiss videos.
Yep.
And until next time, everybody, thanks for watching.